Hello, I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to be sharing 3 really easy one-pan meals. To start, let's make this lemon Parmesan Orzo. This recipe is great because it involves minimal ingredients and it's a super simple, straightforward recipe. The only things I'll need to chop up for this recipe is the fresh basil and shallot, so we'll go ahead and do that. And I'll cook the shallot in about a teaspoon of olive oil in the skillet. I cut 2 lemons in half. I zested those lemons, then I juiced them, and I picked all the seeds out of the bowl so it was just the juice. Now that the shallots are cooked through, I'm going to go ahead and add the lemon juice and the lemon zest. I'll give that a little stir, and I'll add 1 cup of orzo and about a tablespoon of olive oil. I stirred that together, then I added some garlic powder, about 2.5 cups of chicken broth, a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. I added a teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, a heaping 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, and then a whole bunch of chopped fresh basil. I used basil instead of parsley, which was in the original recipe. We absolutely loved this recipe. It was bright, it was fresh, it was delicious. We will definitely be making this again. Sheet pan sticky apricot chicken is up next. Here are all the ingredients for this recipe. It looks like a lot, but it's really just a lot of seasonings that you'll have in your house already. First thing I'm going to do is chop up the chicken breast into, it says 2-inch cubes. And I also have the oven preheating to 475. The chicken is now cubed. I'm going to go ahead and add the egg, the flour, and the salt and pepper to a bowl and mix the chicken in with it. To one bowl, I'm adding 1 egg, salt, and pepper. And to the other bowl, I'll be adding 3 tablespoons of flour. I'm going to go ahead and whisk the egg. I'm going to go ahead and get each piece of chicken coated in the egg and in the flour mixture. Chicken is all ready to go. So I'm going to transfer all of this over to here. Here's the chicken all ready to go, and to the other side I'm going to add the broccoli. It's not quite half, but I'm just going to fill out the rest of the pan with the broccoli. To the broccoli I'm just going to add some olive oil. This onion salt that I got from Trader Joe's. I think it's really good. And then I'm just gonna kind of toss it together in this little tiny space that I left for myself where there's no chicken. Okay, so this is ready to go. I'm gonna place this in the oven at 475 for 12 minutes, and then I'm going to make the sauce while this cooks. First, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of these apricot preserves, then a 1/4 cup of tamari, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. The original recipe calls for fresh garlic and fresh ginger. I'm just going to use what I have, and I have the powdered form. So I added garlic, ginger, red pepper flakes, and I mixed it all together, and that's the sauce ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and chop up the fresh basil. My favorite way to chop up fresh herbs is with kitchen scissors. At this point, the chicken and broccoli were ready to come out of the oven, so I went ahead and flipped the chicken. I did cut my chicken a bit smaller, so it didn't need as long in the oven. I wanted to serve mine over rice, so at this point I put some rice in the microwave to get cooking. You probably can't tell much of a difference, but this is the chicken, fully cooked, out of the oven. I'm just mixing the sauce in with the chicken. The only thing I would change if I made this recipe again, and I do think I will, is the sauce was a bit runny, so I would just go ahead and add some cornstarch or something to thicken the sauce. It was really good. It was kind of a little bit spicy and sweet and a little bit sour. It was delicious. The next recipe I'll be making is this cheesy beef sandwich. It's a super simple recipe. First, I'm going to chop up half an onion and a red bell pepper, and then cook up 1 pound of ground beef in the skillet. I'll add the pepper and onion so it can cook at the same time as the beef. Now that the ground beef is almost all the way cooked, I'm going to go ahead and start adding the seasonings, starting with garlic. I did add a few more seasonings than what the recipe called for. I just like my food kind of extra seasoned. Then I added paprika, onion powder, a lot of onion powder, so I ended up taking some out. I actually didn't have the little holy part on the onion powder, so it just all dumped out. And then I added oregano, dill, and parsley. Next, I added 1 can of cream of mushroom soup and a couple tablespoons of tamari. I used tamari instead of Worcestershire sauce, which was in the original recipe, just because I don't have that in my fridge. I gave it a stir, and then I added a cup of cheese. I used Parmesan. You can see how cheesy it is when I put the sandwich together. We really liked it. It was super easy to make, and I'll definitely be making it again. If you have any recipe recommendations, please leave them below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.